before I get to today's show, have a Monday show, morning show. Before I get into today's show, I want to make something very clear. Anything I say, anything I say today is no shot to the person of Tiffany Sykes and everything that she's accomplished and that she got the job or whatever. What the conversation is today, is this. How did you get the job? All right. It's not that it was a bad hire. We don't know that. I don't know that. Nobody knows that, okay? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's a bad hire. That's what I'm not saying. I'm simply asking the question of how in the blue hell did you get the job, okay? It's like somebody who hey man, I'm about to go apply for Google. And you're like, you? Google? Okay, cool. Have fun. Go ahead, do your thing. You know, it can't hurt. And then you get the job and they like, how you get the job? How'd you get hired? They like me. You know, they like me. So I just want to make that very clear before I start anything, that it's not a shot towards Tiffany Sykes or whatever like that. I don't know her personally, so I'm not coming against her or whatever, condemning her for being hired. Listen, it's FAMU. They do stupid stuff, okay? It wouldn't be FAMU without some. Without some FAMU foolishness. It wouldn't be FAMU without some FAMU foolishness. All right, so listen, I'm going to break this down as best as I can from the information that I've gathered. Listen, all this is from stuff outside of me. I've gotten some information directly. People like Scotty Key talk about it. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So this is all outsider stuff coming to me. So if anybody has anything to disagree with me about, you are more than welcome to do so. And if you don't like nothing I say, you can
unfollow me. If I make you feel some type of way, unfollow me. If low-key you just hit a hey.
All right, you can unfollow me. It won't bother me. It won't bother me one bit, all right? It won't bother me one bit, all right? So real quick, I got to give a shout out to this Twitter profile, right? A lot of people be hating on these Bamas, all right? A lot of people be hating on these Bamas. Let me make sure y'all can see. Okay. Rattler Nation Amplified. Okay? Not Rattler Nation Blog. Rattler Nation Amplified. You know, in the Bible, they got the Amplified version. Them. Okay? Because before this news got out, they were the first ones to say, word on the street. You already know what it is. I like how they did that there. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be caught up because you say officially, unofficial. So you say word on the street. Shout out to Rattler Nation Amplify. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give them all the credit. Everything that I'm about to talk about today is stuff that they've been posting on their Twitter, and then a little bit about from what people have been sending me messenger-wise, okay? So I want to say this. This is I'm leading it to say this. You can't say that they don't have sources when they were the first ones to break the news about Tiffany being hired. Okay? So I want to make that very clear, because you know how people like to discredit people really fast. They be like, oh, Scotty, they ain't legit. They ain't that. Well, they must know something because they broke this news before anybody. Okay? And check the damn date on the bottom, 7/13, October 9th. They have made the official announcement October 11th. So that's called insider sources. So you might not like how they do it. You might not like what they say, but these Bamas got sources, so I'm going to rock with them, all right? That's just that simple. Oh, that's some fresh water, H2O, okay? So I just want to make that very clear. So going forward, if I'm referencing them, you know why I'm referencing them, because these Bamas got sources. I just want to make that very clear to you, Bamas, because a lot of people be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. All right, so listen. So Rattler Nation, they put this out, right? They put this out. All right, so they shared this on their Twitter account. Now, I know you guys can't see it. It's okay. I've blown it up in other graphs coming forward. But this is the AD search. They got this information about the AD search. Once again, I know you guys can't see it. I got it blown up on some other articles, some other stuff coming up. So don't worry about it. I'm just giving you an oversight. They posted it on their Twitter. You can go to Rattler Nation Amplified and you can go read it for yourself. All right. Now, the issue that is going on is once you look at the list, now mind you, there was 18 people on this damn committee. All right. 18 people on this damn committee. She got 5 votes. She ain't even make the top 7. Now I put this, and now remember, this is all from this graphic, okay? I'm taking it off this graphic. All I did was chop it up and blow it up so you guys can see it nice and clean. See here, before, after, A, B, okay? So I don't want y'all to say Scotty over here editing and photoshopping. Nah, I ain't did none of that. All I did was chop it up and blow it up, all right? So you guys can read it. She ain't even make the top 7. Is 18 people on here. You couldn't even get enough votes to make the top 7. Make that make sense. What the hell do you have a committee for if you're not using their recommendation? How does somebody who gets 5 votes end up being your athletic director? Okay, but then you got people like this, right? The ONG, the bowling strike zone. Now, once again, these are people directly connected towards FAMU, right? So I'm not saying they don't know what they're talking about. I won't say that. Okay, I won't say that. But based on, and this is why I started with this. This is why I started with this, because a lot of people would like to discredit people. So how the hell do you have sources to tell you who got the 80 position, but now all of a sudden they don't got sources to say that she wasn't in the top 6 or top 3? That don't make no sense to me. That doesn't make any. How are they not this? I digress. Okay. So VP Sykes was a top 6 candidate on the search committee semifinal. I'm going to read that again for you. VP Sykes was a top 6 candidate of the search committee in the semifinal. Let's count the names, because maybe I don't know my math. Maybe the math ain't mathing for me. I see Craig Angelos, that's 1. I see Paula Jackson, that's 2. I see Angela Suggs, that's 3. I see Dixon, that's 4. I see Kelly Higgins, that's 5. I see Kevin Wilson, that's 6. I see Yolanda Wells, that's 7. I don't see how she made the top 6, but I do see Tiffany Sykes all the way at the bottom. All the way at the bottom. Way at the bottom. Real close to the bottom. All right, but, neither here nor there. All right, so then she made the top 3 in the final round. She was and is qualified, so what are we really investigating? And then this is how you know it's some FAMU foolishness. How in the same paragraph do you say transparency is not the administration's cup of tea? You know that already. No, sir. You cannot say what you said in the first paragraph and then in the next sentence you say Transparency is not administration's cup of tea. You know what that equals? That's some FAMU foolishness. That is some FAMU foolishness. That's like you at your job and they like, hey man, yeah, we did our due diligence, man. You know, we went out, we searched, we got everybody, we got the top candidates. You know what I'm saying? And then the next sentence you say, well, you know, we ain't the most upfront company. You know, we do be doing some shady stuff, but you know, that's just how we are. So was it done right or was it done wrong? That don't make sense to me. Okay. You know, my mom used to always say, listen, Deborah Scott University used to say, if it don't make sense, it's a lie. My mom was real black and white with that. If it don't make sense, it's a lie. And this don't make sense. So you can leave it to how you want to leave it. All right. So they said she made the top 3 in the final. She made the top 6 candidate research committee. That seemed like a lie. Then she made the top 3 in the final round. She made the top 3 in the final round. Well, this don't look like, I don't see her name. I don't see her name. I see a top 11. I see a top 7, and I don't see her name. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Where they do that at? I don't see a Sykes anywhere. I don't see a Sykes anywhere. All right. Now, they have a list. Remember right here in this list, the third column, right? 1, 2, 3, that third column in between. So they got no yellow, then the no yellow, right? So this is what I'm blowing up right now. I just want to keep showing y'all that. All right. I just want to keep showing y'all that so we can go back to this, right? So advocating to bring forward Marvin Green, Jeff Faulkner, Ivy Chandler, Lamonte Sampson, and Tiffany Sykes. Right? She still don't get no votes. She still don't get no votes. I'm confused. Is the point, listen, man, is the point to get votes? Or is it like the least amount of votes move forward, or like the most votes gets cut, like Survivor, right? That's a good thank you, God. That's a great analogy. Is this committee search like Survivor? The more votes you get, the less chance likely you get moved. Like, you know, the tribe has spoken, like, shh, you're out of here. You know what I'm saying? So if we do it like that, it makes sense. Now, if I go back and do it like Survivor, now it makes sense why she moved forward. Because the more votes you get, you know what I'm saying, you get kicked off the island. So if we look at it like Survivor, oh yeah, Tiffany deserved the job. Oh yeah, Tiffany, hey, listen, shout out to Tiffany. You know what I'm saying? She made it off the island, baby. You know what I'm saying? She did what she needed to do to stay on the island. The less votes you get, the better chance you got to stay on the island. So if we looking at it like that, congratulations, Tiffany. You know what I'm saying? You survived. So I'm just trying to understand how they doing this. Because once again, she ain't getting no votes. She ain't get no votes. Now, why the hell do you put an 18-person committee on to make votes if their votes don't matter? Make that make sense to me. Why in the blue hell do you put together an 18-person committee to vote if their votes don't matter? Marvin Green was at the bottom as well. But he got advocated to bring forward. Okay? So, moving on. Now, this is the final. Let me see. The final countdown. Oh, man, I missed one. All right, let me go back real quick. I got to pull something else up so you guys can see this. Because there's a final Zoom list that I didn't get to get. Let me get that for y'all. All right. There's a final Zoom list that, once again, her name is not even on. Now, let me say this, and I agree with you, Sean. I knew why she got the job. I knew, listen, FAMU is about looks. Y'all can get mad at me. You can say, oh, Scotty.
The cap.
Y'all can say whatever you want. We know what FAMU is about. FAMU is about them looks. Ask the basketball team. Ask the volleyball team. FAMU probably got the best looking basketball team, volleyball team, and soccer team. They about them looks. Now, you know Tiffany probably got like 30,000 Instagram followers. Because that's the requirement when you at FAMU. You know, they just listen, they about that presentation, okay? FAMU is about that presentation. You got to look the part. If you don't look the part, they ain't bringing you on. You know what I'm saying? So, softball team fine too. So you can't have people up in there just looking no any type of way. It just ain't the FAMU way. All right. But this is the final list, right? This is the final list. Now I'm gonna ask you. Remember about the advocating? Marvin Green got the 5 votes to be advocated for, right? So of course he will make the final Zoom list. She is not even on the final Zoom list. She's not even on the final Zoom list. Let me say it again, right? I want to caveat this. All I did, listen to me very carefully. I did not chop. I did not edit. I did not do anything different than what the @Rattler Nation Amplified posted. All I did was zoom in. All I did was zoom in. All right. All I did was zoom in. Now, from this point forward, everything I've shown you has matched the document, right? Marvin Green got 5 votes. Guess where Marvin Green is? On the final Zoom list. They had a top 11, then a top 7. Everybody on the top 7 is where? On the final Zoom list. Let me go back to the 11. Most of the people on the 11 are where? On the final Zoom list. So I keep asking people, and I need somebody to understand me. All right? Okay, Yolanda dropped out. Yolander dropped out. That's one person. That's one person. Yolander dropped out. Okay. And bro, there is Yolander dropped out. Kevin Wilson's over top of him. Kellen Huggins is over top of them. Dixon is over them. Suggs is over them. Paula Jackson is over her. Craig Angelos is over her. Make that make sense, the brat. The brat. Make that make sense, bro. It does not. It doesn't. She is here at the bottom. How in the blue hell do you skip over everybody that had more votes than you and get the job? I don't listen, man. This math just ain't mathing. She must have had one hell of an interview. but she fit the look. She fit the look. Now, also, there's been some things, right? There's been some, listen, based off of her resume, I think they did this off a compliance thing. I really, listen, this is what I feel. This is my personal opinion. Oh, yeah, she fine. Oh, yeah, she fine. Go check the thumbnail. Go check the thumbnail. Go check the thumbnail. All right. This is what I think FAMU did. I think Larry Robinson was like, yo, I'm tired of getting my ass busted, no homo, in the news. I'm tired of getting dragged to the carpet for compliance. I'm tired of getting interviews about compliance. I'm tired of my football team go down in drains because of compliance. So I really feel as though he went out of his way to get a person that has spent majority of her career in compliance to make sure this does not happen again, which I understand why is because you don't want the you don't want the blowback. But why not just hire somebody to do compliance? Why not just hire somebody to do compliance? It doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me that you made a complete position overhaul on one specific topic of compliance. So you can now say our athletic director understands compliance and it won't be a problem again. But can she fundraise? Can she make the right hire? Can she do all the necessary things outside of compliance that an athletic director needs to do? So I don't understand how she gets the hire. I don't understand it. I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I don't know her. I'm not saying she can't do the job. I don't know. All I'm saying is based off all the information that I laid out that came from the same people that broke the story of her getting hired, right? Rattler Nation Amplified was the first outlet to say, hey, this word on the street, Tiffany Sykes Dawn is the athletic director. First ones to break it. It wasn't HBCU Game Day. It wasn't HBCU Sports. It wasn't HBCU Nightly. It wasn't HBCU nothing. It wasn't HBCU nothing else. It was them. Then they drop this. So somebody got sources. So once again, make that make sense to me of how this went down and she got this job. You can't. You can't. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's still, listen, at the end of the day, it's just that FAMU foolishness. FAMU foolishness. FAMU foolishness. So, listen, guys. Listen, y'all might want to go tune into the ONG Strike Zone tonight, Wednesday, and see how they explain this. Because this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. How is she a top 6 candidate and didn't get no votes? And word on the street, all right, this is my word on the street. Word on the street is the reason Craig Angelos did not get hired as, because remember, he's the top vote getter, right? Craig Angelos was the top vote getter. That was Kofi's guy. Anybody remember Kofi talking about he likes Craig Angelos, former USF athletic director? Word on the street is this, is because he was white. It was because he was white that he did not get the job. Now, this is where people are going to disagree with me in the black community of HBCU. And listen, I understand it. You guys are gonna be like, oh, Scotty, whatever, white man's ISIS coder. Just don't get mad when you don't get the opportunity at a Power 5 job. I'm going to say, listen, don't cry about it. Don't bitch about it. Don't moan about it when you don't get the same opportunities. If you guys are going to play that same game at your level, don't get mad when they play that game at their level. Everybody, listen, everybody wants to be around their own. Don't get mad at it. Don't complain about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Everybody wants to be around their own. I'm no longer going to blame a white school that wants to hire a white person. They want to be around their own. They don't want to give opportunity to a black person who's qualified. Don't give it to them. They want to be around their own. Black people want to do the same thing. You can't complain. If you're doing the same thing at your level, you cannot complain when people are doing it at their level. You can't. You can't. And then you guys will be like, oh, Scotty, they will never give us a chance. Oh, Scotty, we got to make our own. We got to do our own. Listen, is it about thriving? To me, it's about thriving. And if a white man can get you into doors, a black person cannot, I'm going to pick the white guy for 200. I'm going to pick the white person, Hispanic, white, I don't give a damn. I'm picking him for 200. Listen, man. Because, listen, and it's not, I know, listen, I'm not saying there's not black people. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's not black people qualified to do the position. That's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you put an 18-person committee together, all right? Out of the, and I assume all 18 of them Bamas is black. Can I say that? I think so. I think that the 18-person committee that you put on FAMU was all black. And 12 of them jokers said, I'm voting for the white man. I think the white man could do a hell of a job. If that ain't fair, I don't know what is. 12 out of 18 black people raised their hand and said, hey, I think this guy can help us. I don't know about y'all, but I feel he can help us. And somehow he did not get the job because of the color of his skin. Wow. That's all I'm saying. Coach Green, you don't want this conversation with me, my boy. Like, I listen, man. I get tired of schooling you every time because you think that you're smarter than me, but you're not. This is what I said with the Deion situation. I said in the Deion situation, this is exactly what I said. I said, you cannot talk about the culture and then go hire what? Oh, I'm doing this for my people. I'm doing this for my brother. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing. You can't speak about the culture and then go hire a white person for OC. That's what you can't do. You can't do that. That don't make sense. That's what I said. So if you're going to repeat what I said, give it all in context. Miss me with that, Coach Green. What's up, Mr. Sergeant?
Oh, I'm so glad I got in before Coach Green.
Go ahead. Yeah, facts, right? Jesus.
All right. So you know me. I'm gonna start off with a little history. Historically, black colleges have not discriminated against white folks because a lot of historically black colleges were started by white folks. Please give me an explosion. Fisk University, $1 million grant given by a white lady who wanted to make sure her indentured servants had a place to get an education. Meharry Medical Center, same space. Florida A&M, bring it home, was started by white folks in the legislature of Florida, and then they asked an attorney from Sierra Leone named Tucker to come and be the president of the State Normal College for Negroes. Okay, that's the only N-word I ever used, by the way. Hampton, thank you. Hampton used to be an institute started by a white dude. Howard, same place. So, unless you're Tuskegee, and even then they were given $2,000 by white folks in the legislature of Alabama, you really can't start off discriminating against white folks. Now, let's keep it home. Florida A&M, we got a white coach, golf coach. We got a white coach. I guess he's white. He's European. In the volleyball space, we got a white coach on the baseball team. We've not had a white coach as a football coach. Notice that, but we do have white folks on the staff, and we've had that even going back to the Billy Joel days. So I don't understand why we would say, well, white folks can be students, white folks can be professors, white folks can be presidents, but they can't be an AD. I don't get that. I hope that is just a rumor and kind of street stuff. But if that's the way it is, then however this disastrous pick happens and disaster takes place as a result of it, we deserve every bit of that times 100. My father, who was in the civil rights movement, and I'm going to cut this off because I don't like to be too long.